Hey everyone, welcome to week 2 of your Async music course. You had 4 whole lessons last week. You learned about rhythm, whole notes, half notes, and quarter notes, right? And then your last lesson was to combine the 3. We're going to be continuing to look at rhythm this week, and we're going to learn about 3 new rhythm values, and then same thing, at the end of the week, you'll have a chance to combine them. Okay, so let's just get going. If you can take a look on the board, you'll see what you already know. You see a whole note, you see what it looks like, and that is worth 4 beats. You see your half note, and that it's worth 2 beats. You see your quarter note, and that it's worth 1 beat, okay? Our new rhythm value for today is the 8th note, the 8th note. So if you notice, the 8th note looks similar to the quarter note, except it has what we call a flag at the top, a little piece coming down. It's called a flag, okay? So the part of the note that goes straight up is called the stem, and then the part that falls down from the top is called the flag. This is called an 8th note, and an 8th note gets a half a beat, okay? Simple fractions, right? For those of you who love math, if you have a whole cookie, I shouldn't say a whole cookie. If you have a cookie, right, broke it in half, the 8th note would get 1/2 of the cookie. All right. So this is what an 8th note looks like. And if we take 2 8th notes, put them together, so we're putting that cookie back together, they get attached at the top with something called a beam. All right, so here over here we have a pair of 8th notes. So here's an 8th note here, here's another 8th note here, and they are connected at the top. All right, so if this half of the pair gets half a beat, and this half gets half a beat, 1/2 plus 1/2 equal a whole. So 2 8th notes or a pair of 8th notes equal a quarter note. Okay, hope you got that. That is the math of it. Now let's see how that kind of translates into how these beats sound. Okay, another chart to compare everything to help you know where these 8th notes fit into the grand scheme of things. Up top we have our whole note, 1-2-3-4, a continuous sound getting 4 beats. That whole note is then split into 2 to make 2 half notes. Here is 1-2, here is 3-4. Each half note is split to create 4 quarter notes. Here's beat 1, here's beat 2, here's beat 3, here's beat 4, and now each quarter note is split in half to form 8 8th notes, or 4 pair of 8th notes. So this is how we count 8th notes: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. So we have the word and. Whenever you have 8th notes, or whenever you have a pair of 8th notes, the first 8th note gets a number, and the second one gets the word and, okay, because there are 2 sounds. So if I were to clap the 8th notes while I spoke the counts, it would sound like this: 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, now if I were to clap it without speaking, it would sound like this. All right, did you catch that? You heard my cell phone in the background. Let's try that again. Okay, here's 4 quarter notes. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's 4 pair of 8th notes. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so they both get 4 beats, but there are more sounds with the 8th notes because they're shorter notes. Okay, let's see what that looks like in measures or with a bar line. Okay, so here we have, let's see, we have 8 pair of 8th notes all the way across. So here's 1, here's 2, here's 3, here's 4, here's 5, here's 6, here's 7, and 8 is over here. I hope you can see it. I hope my video is not blocking. But we would count this the same way. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so if I were to clap this, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, so eighth notes just get steady beat straight across. Okay, if you don't want to write out the word and when you're writing these counts, you can use a plus sign to represent and. Same thing. Okay, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. And what do we notice about these eighth notes down at the bottom versus the one at the top? The beam goes across 4 stems. But guess what? They're still eighth notes. They may look a little differently, but they're still eighth notes, okay? So what you see on the bottom here is exactly this. It will sound exactly the same as what you see at the top. Okay, and if you don't even want to use the plus sign, you can use the and sign, right, which you'll find on your keyboard above the number 7. So if you hit shift, hold shift and hit 7, you'll come up with the and sign. However you want to write the word and, whether you want to write it out or you want to use a plus sign or you want to use the and sign, it's all correct. All right, the important part is that you know how eighth notes sound. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and. Okay, we are at 6.5 minutes, so we're going to cut this video short. Again, if you need extra help with this, if you just don't understand, come to tutoring every Friday. You'll see the link on the left side of the homepage for our classroom. Come to tutoring at 3:10. I will be there waiting to answer any questions you might have. Have a good day.